In this lecture, I'll explain you what is a list and how can we use it. A list is a very easy to use and very helpful and therefore very popular data type in Python. The way you declare a list is let's try creating a new list. And if you want to create an empty list, we just put empty square brackets declaring that it is a list. If you want to check if Python interpreter has created a list type of this new list variable is a list type or not, we have to check the type of new list. So we run this and we know that this is a list type because of these empty square brackets. We don't always have to keep our lists empty. If we know what we have to put in, then we can surely put in the elements, like maybe my favorite fruits are apple and mangoes, and I'm making a list of favorite fruits, favorite favorites. Now I know that this list is contains two elements and both are my favorite fruits. Let's say I just want to access my first favorite fruit. I can use square bracket in front of the list variable and put an index over here. Now the index of the list starts with 0. So at the 0th index, we have our first element. And when I do this, I will end up printing only one element which is on the certain index, which is 0. If I do 1, then I access the second element or the element lying on the first index. I now, because I'm talking about my favorites, another thing that is my favorite is, let's say, rainfall. Now, it just occurs to me that I'm making a list of everything that is my favorite, and now I have a favorite which is a rainfall, or let's say -3 degrees centigrade. So I just say -3, which is a number, or just to keep it simple, 3. What will happen when I run this, and if I print fav list again, I'll find a new element on the second index, which is a number value. These two were string values. Now I have a number value, and I can obviously access it by giving its index number, which is 2. Now, if I say, there's another thing that I like, which is I really like odd numbers. So I'm gonna make a collection of first 5 odd numbers and put it in the list or collection of my favorite things. So now this is a list or a collection of odd numbers in a list form, and I'm appending this in my favorites. On the fourth index, what I'll find is not one element, but the whole set has been granted the fourth index. So the 0th index has apple, and the first index has mangoes. The second index is a 3, and the fourth index is all of it. So now if I want to access the whole fourth index, my favorite odd numbers, I'll have to actually go to the third index and get it. But of all these elements, if I want the last element, then I'll have to actually get it like this. So on the third index, there is a set, and in that set, I'm accessing the fourth element. Now I create a variable, uh, my favorite story, which is, let's say, Cinderella, and I say what I want is to append the title of my favorite story onto the list, my favorite FAV, and then I'll print and see if I get it. So here it is. But in some time I grow up, and for some reason I said, oh, I don't want to continue liking Cinderella, so it has to get out of my favorite list. All I need to do is to do fav dot remove, and I remove this variable which stores Cinderella. And then let's just print and see what we get. So by using dot remove with the list, I can get rid of exactly what I'm removing, like this. I can also say, I need to start afresh. My favorites have completely changed. For that, I'll use dot clear with the list. And if I print my list after clearing, I'll get a fresh list to start all over with. I'm getting this error because I removed story and then I forgot to comment it. So it's saying there is no story to remove. So here we are with the empty list. Now let's go back to the original list that I had and see what it is. Have you ever taken Mentos? How you eat it is that you pop, and when you pop, the thing on the top comes out. Well, we can think of this list as Mentos stick, and we can actually pop last element will come out. Now this is an interesting feature because whatever is in the end will anyway come out. We can and then it will be removed from the list. So now if I print my list again, it will not have Cinderella in it. If I because this pop it ran twice. The first time it popped Cinderella out. The second time I ran it, it popped this out. And if I run it again, it will pop the third out. In fact, let us start again with this list and see how it is popped. So the first time Cinderella is popped out. Now if I run this again, this this was the last index which popped out. Now we are at 3. If I run it again, the third is popped out, mangoes and apple, and now we have an empty list. What we could do is also that I don't like 3 anymore, but I like everything else. So instead of popping everything out, and once you pop it out, it's gone from the list, I'm just gonna say, don't pop everything out, just pop at the second index. And what I get is everything, but the second index is removed. Another thing that I can do is to use the predefined method del and delete this list altogether. Now, if I try to print, I'll get an error because there is no list favorite. Name favorite is not defined. So these are the functions that you can use to edit, expand, reduce, or access elements in the list, which is why list is a super helpful and very popular data type in Python.